Hey, welcome to the shack of KL7L here in Alaska. I have been chasing my tail today. We have a new 12 volt, nice little ebook here. This is an Evolve ebook 11, which you can get off Amazon for just 100 notes or something or less, or other places. And it's great because the nice thing about this was it's very lightweight, very small, dinky, and it also runs off 12 volts. The actual charger is 12 volts, so theoretically, and people have proven that you can actually run this off a car battery or the car or whatever, and instead of having to deal with higher DC voltages, which like the Hewlett Packard is using. I think this is 18 volts at like 10 amps or something ridiculous. Anyway, but we found a little problem with this Evolve 3, and it is one which it took a bit of finding. Just to help you out here, this is how the setup goes. We've got AC input from the electrical power grid, either 110, 220 or whatever you've got in your part of the world. This goes into a switch mode power supply, which is noisy in its own right because it uses RF radio frequency switching, and then it's filtered, hopefully completely, left with 12 volts DC to power and charge the battery within the laptop, which is here. And then the Evolve produces 12 volts, sorry, and it's from 12 volts. It also has a DC to DC converters, which again produce hash and noise, but again are filtered down to 5 volts. And this is typically what you find out of your USB ports. And what I'm doing here is I'm driving an SDR software-defined radio, which in fact is an AirSpy Discovery Plus. And today I had it set up. I wanted to take this to Europe in a couple of days, and I was finding I was having all sorts of issues. The antenna that I'm actually using is a 1 meter diameter loop with an amplifier and a RG58 coaxial cable to a power injector, which injects 12 volts. The amplifier needs about 150 milliamps. And then there's a device here to isolate the DC from the coaxial cable going into the SDR. But what I was getting was this, or worse, which I first thought was my neighbor, and then my other neighbor, and then I went searching around the house thinking that these spikes that you can see on the screen here were self-inflicted, but they're actually coming from the this cable here, or the actual computer itself is emitting noise, and I can prove that by, look, in my little pinky here I have the SDR, which is this lovely Discovery AirSpy Discovery Plus SDR HF Plus. And I got a little bit of wire, and you can see the interference, which isn't unexpected, but if I take it away a long way away, the actual noise doesn't decrease at all. You can still see the spikes there. I mean, there's some stuff when you get close to it, sure, and it's actually probably it's probably the video drivers or the display drivers that are causing interference, or the DC supply isn't regulated enough and filtered at radio frequencies. So I have this sort of background rubbish all the time that's there, and that's what I was chasing today. And it seems to be coming from the USB common mode. I tried filtering it out, the cable going to the USB port, and I couldn't do anything with it. And I need to do some more work. So every laptop isn't the same. When I plug the Discovery, the AirSpy into the HP, which has better filtering on the USB side, sure, I get noise and stuff, but that's actually from the equipment in the radio room here. All this lot here, you know, we got switch mode power supplies and all sorts of stuff. So beware that some of these cheaper laptops that you can buy, even though they're FCC marked and EC marked, may not be perfect for radio. If your radio antenna is a long way away, I don't know if it makes a lot of difference. I haven't tried that yet. But certainly if I'm 30 feet away, I still have this background rubbish. No matter what I do, it's still there. That is still there. Those peaks every, how many kilohertz is it? Every 250, 275, every 60 kilohertz or so is there. So I won't be taking this to Europe. I'm going to take my heavier and much older HP, but I know that the supplies and the drivers and the filters are a lot better. So people running SDRs, just be careful. Sometimes the peripheral power supplies and all the drivers and the filtering itself in the laptop may impinge spikes and RF noise on the supply itself, or sometimes, which happens, is the actual power supply that comes with it is rubbish as well. The switch mode power supply itself isn't effectively filtered at DC. Another thing to find today. Anyway, have a great evening. It's definitely autumn out there. Snow due tomorrow. KL7 out.